One more question. Well, that'll be it. Yes, sir.
Dr. Ruckman, would you please comment just a little on the parable in Luke 16, verses 8 and 9?
16?
Yes.
All right, verse 8 and 9. What about that steward? All right, we'll start 16 at verse 1. Now, this thing here is peculiar in that the passage he's asking about has been used by, I've heard it used by men who made a lot of money to prove that they ought to make more money. All right, 16:1. There was a certain rich man which had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said to him, How is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou mayest be no longer a steward. Remember I told you to read your Bible to notice the shocking statements and notice the personal statements? Look at that thing. Boy, you realize what you're reading there? You know what's going to happen to you when you die? You may no longer be steward. You know what God has given you right now? Stewardship. You're responsible for a wife or some kids, or a church, right? Or a home, or a family, or a car. You're a steward. You don't own anything you got. You don't own nothing. It was given to you, amen? Given you to take care of. And someday you'll be called in, give account of your stewardship. You may no longer be steward. I mean, boy, one day death will come in and touch you one time in the heart and touch you one time in the lung and say, get out of this house now, you're going to go down and live in the dirt for a while. You say, I don't want to go down there. And death says, I'm sorry, I was sent to get you. Go down and live in the grave for a while. And you'll leave everything you had to somebody else. It'll be their stewardship. See? Give an account of thy stewardship. People are funny about God. They think God's a landlord, or rents the place, or he's a next door neighbor or somebody. God owns everything you got. And he gave it to you to take care of. I've been entrusted with the talent to paint and draw and some other things. I'll give an account. When I study real artists, I get very discouraged. Because I'm not really an artist. I'm kind of Lord made me, he made a joke in everybody. I don't know what it is. It's kind of a mongrel mixture. I don't know what. I've got to figure it out. I mean, think of putting the soul of an artist and a musician into the frame, an artist into the frame of a soldier and a roughneck. What a joke. I tried to learn how to play the violin about 3 years ago. Somebody bought me one, I gave it up. My fingers can't get on the strings. The end of my fingers are all flat and dull from hitting things. And they won't go down the strings. I can't get one string on the violin, that kind of thing. I've got the soul of a musician. If I could write music, I could write you symphonies. Really. I can hear them. I can hear them in my head. I can manufacture them at night. All the parts through. But I can't write the stuff down. You see me draw, I don't draw much. I just cartoon, they're little sketches. That ain't nothing. At home I paint. I've painted 34 baptistries, 1,000 portraits, and about 4,000 watercolors, I don't know what all else. But when I paint, I can't really paint because I have the soul of an artist, but I'm not an artist. And when I paint, I have to paint the thing over and over again to get it because I can't see the color. A real artist, you know what he does? When he paints, he wears this smock and never gets a spot on it, and he looks at the thing and sees the color, and he mixes the color and then wipes off the brush and then the color. There's the color. Then he cleans off his brush and turpentine and back in and there's the color, see. I can't paint that way. And the reason why is I can't see the color. My eyes can only distinguish about 100 different colors. A real artist can distinguish about 600. And when I see a thing, I think I've got the color and I paint it, I look at it, it don't look right. And I do it again. It still don't look right. I do it again. I paint the same thing over 15 times before I can get it. Now I know when it looks right. When I get it the way it ought to be, I got it. I may have to hit it 15 times. And the average artist's brush strokes are like this, see? Mine look like somebody attacked the canvas with a bayonet. It's just like this, You can't get me a sable brush that'll last me more than 2 months. On the canvas, I'll wear it down to a nub. If the brush would wear right down to the metal, you have to take it and throw it out. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying this. When I study fellows like Frank Frazetta, does those Conan pictures, or Maxfield Parrish, Brandywine School, or Wyeth, one of those fellows, or a fellow like Norman Rockwell, and so that stuff, I get depressed. Because I can't do that. But let me tell you something. In the day of judgment, when I give account of my stewardship, any one of those little old pastel chalk talks on a piece of newsprint will be worth anything that Norman Rockwell ever did in a lifetime. And he may get $1,500 for a post cover and all that, but I wouldn't worry about his stuff in the day of judgment. Only what's done for Christ will last. 3. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? My Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig. He was a hippie, he didn't dig it. I don't dig it, man. I don't dig it. I cannot dig. I like that cartoon of that daddy talking to his modern son up here in the winter. And he says, man, it's cool outside. Get out there and dig that crazy snow. I cannot dig. To beg I am ashamed. He's in a fix. I'm resolved what to do. The one I put out of the stewardship, they. That's the people who owed him the money. They, that's people. They may receive me into their houses. He's planning on the people who owed his Lord the money taking care of him when he gets kicked, when he gets the boot. So he called every one of his Lord debtors unto him and said to the first, how much owest thou to my Lord? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said to him, take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50. That is, he's going to give him a 50% cut on it. Let him off the hook. How much you owe him? $500. Okay, give me 250. We'll call even. Oh, great. Oh, boy, I appreciate the help. So I give him the 250, calls it even. Now he's giving this fellow a break. This fellow owes him something, see? Him, for letting him off the hook. All right, verse 6. And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said to him, take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50. Then said he to another, and how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said, take thy bill and write 80, letting him off the hook. Now what did he do? He gypped his master. He takes this money and brings it back to the master, and it isn't what the master wanted because it isn't full payment. So he goes in and gets fired. But in doing it, he set himself up with these other people. Now they're going to take care of him for taking care of them. And the Lord commended the unjust steward. That is, he spoke highly of him. He fired him. But he complimented on his craft and being slick. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he had done wisely. Didn't say he done right. Didn't say he done justly. He done wisely. Taking care of his own neck, And men will compliment you when you do good to yourself. In plain words, he's saying that fellow there, he got brains. And he does. He wasn't any good. And he was unjust. But some unjust people no good. They got more sense than some Christians. Did you know that being a Christian, all things being equal, you ought to be able to outdo a sinner in anything he does? All things being equal, a man who's saved should be able to outdo an unsaved man in anything he does. That if you're a football player and you're the same weight and the same height and have the same training, you'll be able to beat his brains out on the line. That's right. If you're a musician, have the same training, the same opportunities, you'll be able to outplay a man just how many plays that you play. All things being equal. I understand there's some inequalities. But all things being equal, any saved man ought to be able to outdo an unsaved man in anything he does. You got the advantage. You got God with you, man. You got God with you. Don't tell me you can do more without God than you can with God. All right, 8. And the Lord commended the unjust steward because he done wisely. For the children of this world, that's the unsaved, lost, crafty, scheming, money-grabbing people. Merrill Lynch. The children of this world are in their generation wiser, not better. Not good, not right, wiser. They got more wisdom than the children of light. In plain words, unsaved people have more sense than some saved people. Unsaved people are smart and they know the means to use to attain the ends they want. Saved people, they flounder. Saved people don't use wisdom in attaining the ends they got in mind. And I say unto you, and this is a choice, make yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. Now that isn't directive will. That's if you're not going to be right, then you'd better do what the steward did. If you're going to be unjust, then do what the steward did. Make yourselves friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. Now there's that of again. So the thing flipped you? You thought it said be friends with money, didn't you? You thought it was the object, it's the subject. That of really throw you. That thing says, make yourself friends by what? By using the money. Take the money and get yourself friends with the money. How you know he meant that? Because that's what he just said. The fellow had just done that. He just got him some friends by letting them off the hook financially. So it of doesn't mean make friends of dollar bills. It doesn't say get friendly with dollar bills and make money. It's saying make you friends with the money. See, that of's tough. That thing goes either way. Let me show you one like this. What's the truth of God? Is that the truth about God, or is that the truth God gives you? Well, normally it could be either. All right, 9. Make yourselves friends of the mammon of righteousness. Now, if you want to get it where you can understand it with no ambiguity, then you'd put, make yourselves friends by using the mammon of unrighteousness, or with the mammon of unrighteousness, or take the mammon of righteousness, make yourselves some friends. Make yourselves friends of the mammon of righteousness, that when ye fail, like the steward did, they, the friends you make, not the money, the friends you make, they may receive you in everlasting habitation. Take care of the rest of your life. So it said, if you're going to be unjust, then put the money to good use and make you some friends with it. All right, that'll be all. Thanks. Nothing like a Bible to clear up the college education.